Yo, what's good, wrestling fam? Welcome back to the Wrestling Heat. I hope y'all been having a good weekend, and I hope y'all been being safe out there. And ladies and gentlemen, can you smell it? Oh yeah, you should definitely smell it because I got some of that sweet and delicious wrestling news baking up for you in the oven right now as I speak. And some of that wrestling news contains of WWE Hall of Fame of 2021 and also a female wrestler that recently came out and said she almost retired from wrestling. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get some of that good and delicious wrestling news going for you in about 3, 2, 1. Let's get it. And alright, wrestling fam, the very first piece of wrestling news that I'm serving up just for you is about WWE's 2021 Hall of Fame and the very first inductee into it. And if you haven't heard, I'm pretty excited to say that Molly Holly, she is finally in the Hall of Fame, and I would say she deserves it. She is a lovely lady. She is, loved by everybody. And I would say congratulations, Miss Molly Holly. You deserve it, and I can't wait to see who's next going to be in the Hall of Fame of 2021. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see, even though we really didn't even get a Hall of Fame, last year, COVID and all that. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Molly Holly introduced into the Hall of Fame of 2021. That's pretty awesome. What do y'all think about it? Let me know down in the chat room down below. And we're going to be moving on to some stuff that I've been seeing about Andrades. I know he isn't happy in the WWE, and I know recently he asked for his release from the WWE recently, and as of right now, WWE is denying his release, just like Aleister Black. They haven't been used on television in the past 5 months. Can y'all believe that? Andrades, the the boyfriend to Charlotte, and Aleister Black just being shooed, pushed to the side like they ain't nothing, like they're not a good talent, which WWE, I know you're smoking some oddly stuff lately, but that is a shame that you won't let these people that love wrestling and like doing what they do, and they are pretty good at it. And it's just a shame that now both of them, Andrades and Aleister Black, probably going to have to wait until their contract expires for them to go journey out in other waters, whether it be New Japan, AEW, wherever they want to go. They're good talent, and I just hope, WWE, Vince McMahon, will change their minds, and we will see them on television. But I don't know, folks. Time will tell, and I think that's BS. WWE, you doing that to Aleister Black and Andrades. And if y'all think anything different, let me know down below, and I'll get back to you down in the chat room. And yeah, that just really sucks about Andrades and Aleister Black. I would actually like to see Charlotte Flair and Andrades as like a power couple. I'd be happy with it. I would like to see Aleister Black maybe back in NXT. Same thing with Andrades. I mean, he can't really speak English all that well because it's not his first language. But, I have problems speaking my own language, which is English. But, moving on from that, ladies and gentlemen, that's a damn shame. And this one right here, the next news that I got for you is actually a pretty big shock for me. It says right here, it is rumored that Vince McMahon fought for the women's match over in Saudi Arabia. It was done with Lacey Evans and Natalya. Good match. I mean, it was kind of disrespectful for what, some of the people did during their entrances, which was throwing their water bottles at them. But I could see Vince was trying to make a change over there, even though it was mostly about the money. But I'm happy to hear about this, if it's true, about Vince McMahon actually, sticking up for his women's roster and being like, hey, let them have a match and it'll be good. And, it was a pretty good, match between Lacey and Natty, though it be over in Saudi Arabia. We all know the women over there don't get all that much freedom at all, which really sucks. But, yeah, Vince McMahon fought for the women's match in Saudi Arabia, and if that is true, right on you, Vince. But I still say you should pull out of that deal before anything else happens over in that country. Learning that one dude's death, that reporter over there, which was not a good look. But going on from that piece of news on over to this one is probably gonna make a lot of people mad whenever it comes to the WWE Network and then moving to Peacock. And it looks like Peacock, it says some WWE Network content won't be available on Peacock for a long time. I don't know how long a long time is, but WWE, I think this move to Peacock and whatever you're doing with the network is not a really good move on your part. I think a lot of stuff is going to get jungled up and everything is going to fall apart because I see over at Peacock, it's not well kept over there. And that the way that they have, the network before, you could get all the stuff, all the pay-per-views, all that. But now it looks like stuff is just going to be all scattered for a while. So those of you that have the network and, it moving to Peacock, it's going to be a hell of a big mess, I foresee, in the future. So WWE Network, good luck on your future endeavors, and hopefully you can get everything solved, what's going on over in Peacock, because as of right now, it looks like a hell of a big mess for everybody that has the WWE Network, and it's going to be rough. So, moving on from that, pretty frustrating news with the network and Peacock. So, moving on to the fifth thing that I got for you, and this one does not sound good for fans of wrestling, if it is true that there's a rumor going out there that television executives allegedly don't want any more pro wrestling on television. And folks, I would say if that is true, I gotta say I got to strongly disagree. I know wrestling isn't at the highest of peaks right now. A lot of stuff is changing. Got AEW out there. Got WWE still out there. They're still doing their thing. But, a lot of stuff has already been done. I guess if this is true, that who knows? In the next, 10 years, will we still have wrestling? I don't know. I hope so. I hope things, change. I hope, everybody's ratings go up, because I don't know about y'all, but I like me some wrestling. Y'all like wrestling? I hope so. Why even subscribe to the channel if you don't like wrestling? But yeah, television. Can't speak English yet again. Nothing new. But yeah, television executives allegedly don't want any more wrestling on television. If that's true, we got to prove them different, or hopefully we get better ratings on stuff that's going on with AEW, NXT. The more ratings, the better, folks. And I guess a lot of people have just been turned off on wrestling, which is a shame. But moving on from that, more depressing news with that one. Hopefully it's not true. Hopefully it's just rumor and not actually, them not wanting wrestling. So moving on to a little bit of exciting news that I seen with Jim Cornette and Miro, a.k.a. Rusev, over in He was in WWE, now he's over in AEW, and it looks like him and Jim Cornette have been going back and forth, and now it looks like Penelope from AEW, Jim Cornette called her a hoe or a slut or something like that, and Rusev is going off, and they've been going back and forth for a little while now. Yeah, I even believe, even whenever he was in WWE, Cornette was giving him flack for the whole Lana stuff. But Jim Cornette, he's a big giant troll. He likes to get a pop out of, anybody that he can get a pop of. It's what he's, known to do over the years, especially with Vince Russo and a few others of the wrestling variety. But we've all heard his rants. We see all the tweets that are going on towards AEW. And Morrow, is just, putting his foot down and calling out damn, I can't even remember names that, Jim Cornette, Jesus, Jim Cornette, Rusev, they're going crazy on each other. Been watching it over on Twitter. But, yeah, there are definitely feuding, I would say. Book it, Jim Cornette versus Morrow. AEW, book it, and let's have it in an exploding barbed wire death match. But, yeah, moving on from that, that is just a whole big mess between Jim Cornette and Miro. Miro, I would just say, don't even pay attention to the guy. He's out there to get a ruse out of anybody, and he's definitely fluffing up your feathers, my guy. So, with that being said, moving on from that piece of news on to this one I just recently seen. I didn't even really pay attention to it until it was literally brought to my attention about Paul Heyman in a recent thing that he did on I forget what it's called, but it's whenever the wrestlers come out and, they talk with Paul Heyman and whoever else they have there with them. But, Paul Heyman was talking about Christians and jumping ship and stuff like that, and that was a legit shoot towards Christian that jumped ship to AEW. I believe you can find this, on YouTube. Just look it up, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Shots were fired. Edge was also brought up, since, they're really good friends, and, we both seen them in the Royal Rumble. They gave each other a hug. We thought it was something that would be more, but it was more of a goodbye, saying adios. I'm heading over to AEW, and it's a short little clip, but it's definitely worth the watch if you haven't seen it yet. So, going on from that, pretty much like I said, just saying it one more time, Paul Heyman threw shade over Christian Cage for jumping ship to AEW, and you gotta pop your shots when you can, and Paul Heyman definitely shot some towards Christian K. Christian, the peeps, is now AEW, so it is what it is. Going on from that piece of news, going on to a recent, we all know Amber Moon. She is one half of the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. She's also a former NXT Women's Champion over there. She was on the main roster, kicking butt, both over on Raw and SmackDown, I believe. And she was doing her thing. She caught an injury. And then recently, she was in an interview, and she brought up that she actually thought about retiring, I guess, during, that portion of her being out of the ring so long, and I guess it just got to her, and maybe she just thinks she didn't have it in her anymore. But I'm glad that she stayed on, because she's kicking butt right now in NXT, along with Shotzi Blackheart. Like I said, they're both the new women's NXT champions, which is very weird because we had Dakota and Gonzalez. They were the first, and then They had their belts for like an hour almost, and then 1, 2, 3, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart, new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. And I am, like I said, very happy, Ember Moon, that you are still in the wrestling, still kicking some butt, and still slinging the cake, if you know what I mean. But, yeah, she was recently thinking about retiring, and I'm glad she didn't. What do y'all feel about this? Do y'all think she should have retired and just did her, you know, Twitch thing? Or do you think, or, you know, she's kicking butt now? I love Ember Moon. Bam, Ember Moon right there on the NXT original title, by the way, along with Lacey Evans, Street Profits, a bunch of others. But moving on from that, ladies and gentlemen, Ember Moon still kicking butt. Thought about retiring, but nope. So going on to the last piece of news, which is very freaking hilarious if you've seen it on AEW Revolution. It was a match between Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega for the Heavyweight Championship, AEW. It was supposed to be in a barbed wire death explosion match, something like that, and it got to the very, very end, and Jon Moxley laying in the middle of the ring. He's beaten up. The countdown is going down. It's like at 30. Out comes Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston puts himself over Jon Moxley, and next thing you know, poof. About a $40 worth of pyro go off. No big explosion, no shrapnel, no none of that. It was just some sparklers, some smoke, and the funny thing about it is that Eddie Kingston passed out, and his reason that he gave on the next AEW Dynamite that Wednesday pretty much said that he passed out because of he thought he was going to get blown up. And I do know that Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley are not happy about this match. Supposedly they tested it, and everything went smooth. And then when the show came on, and it came down to the last seconds, and poof, that's all we got. And I put up some Japanese death match, one with Terry Funk, and I forget the other ones that I put in here, but this is what the real stuff is supposed to look like, and this is what AEW did. But it got a laugh out of a lot of people, got a laugh out of myself. It's not a really good look on AEW. Sorry about that, folks, some technical difficulties. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the video. If you found any of this newsworthy, slap a thumbs up. If not, if you think the video sucked, go ahead and throw a thumbs down. Leave a comment, whatever y'all want. Y'all know that Periscope is about to end, and everybody that's here from Periscope, I greatly appreciate you so much, and everybody else that has subscribed to the channel. Those of y'all that's been since day one-ish from my original channel that got flagged. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the video. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Rest in peace, Mr. Suds. And if you made it this far on the video, put in chicken wings ain't a thing. But with all, what's said and done in the video, I love y'all. Be safe out there. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. And the most important thing of the video, as y'all should already know by now, is to always keep it just a little bit too sweet, baby. And I'm out of there.
Back is back, cause I'm mass destruction. Guess who's here? The bad boys of wrestling.